Hello everybody, I'm Shauna Rumbauer. Welcome to our virtual Joy of Wine event. I'm so happy to have you here to celebrate our 40th anniversary and the release of our amazing 2019 Canara Chardonnay. If my parents, Colonel and Joan Rumbauer, were here today, they'd be so proud. It was their hard work, determination, and vision that has got us where we are today. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your years of loyalty to the Rumbauer brand. When I refer to the Rumbauer family, and I'm not just speaking about the immediate family members, I'm speaking about our entire incredible staff and all of you. So important to us, and we thank you. Sit back, sip that Chardonnay, and enjoy the show.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Joy of Wine. My name's K.R. Rumbauer, and we have some of our beautiful Carnero Chardonnay for you. I hope you have the 2019 close at hand, bottle open, wine in the glass. I want to thank everybody for enjoying the wines over the last 40 years. It's been one heck of a ride. It's been a privilege and opportunity to grow up in the business that my mother and father started, Colonel and Joan Rumbauer. We came to the Valley in 1972. My father was an airline pilot, Colonel Rumbauer. My mother, Joan Rumbauer, ran herd on my sister and I, and kept us all going in the right direction. The Colonel got involved with John Henderson, who was a winemaker in the Valley. We became partners at Con Creek Winery from 76 to 1980. And then in 1980, after a number of harvests under Colonel's belt, he decided it was a good time to start Rumbauer Vineyards. And this beautiful brand was born. My mother worked tirelessly with my father, a lot of sweat, blood, and tears getting this going, getting it right, and keeping it going in the right direction. The 2019 Rumbauer Canero Chardonnay, a home run, very consistent, and it's that way because we have the same vineyards year in and year out. We have an incredible winemaking team that challenges themselves to make the same consistent style, beautiful style of wine. But is there anything we're not doing that would make it better? And so that's always the question every single day. What can we do to make it better? So we hope you enjoy this wine as much as we do. It's our emotional and social beverage. It's incredible with friends. It's incredible with food. And at the end of a long day or a long week, it's incredible all by itself. So please, enjoy. Cheers. Thank you, Colonel and Joan Rumbauer. Enjoy.
Hi everybody, my name is Reagan. I'm part of the third generation of the Rumbauer family. My mom is Shauna Rumbauer. Thanks so much for joining us at our Joy of Wine event. Even though it's virtual this year, I think it's even better than ever because we get to come to you in the comfort of your home. So cheers.
Hello, I'm Drew Blackwood. Third generation of Rumbauer Vineyards. My grandparents, Colonel and Joan Rumbauer, and my mother is Shauna Rumbauer. Thank you everyone for your support and positivity, as well as our hardworking staff.
Hello everybody, my name is Seth Blackwood. I am Colonel Rumbauer's grandson, son of Shauna Rumbauer, and I am active duty Air Force, stationed here at Barstow Air Force Base. We're celebrating our 40th year anniversary at Rumbauer. That's an amazing accomplishment, something my grandfather started from the ground up, and just wanted to thank you guys for participating in it.
How's it going, guys? I'm Lane Blackwood, coming from Corvallis, Montana. I am the grandson of Grandma Joan and Grandpa Colonel Rumbauer. I would like to thank you guys for partaking in the 40th anniversary of the Joy Wine and the winery.
So I wanted to introduce part of the third generation. My daughter, Ransom Rumbauer. Thank you so much for being here. She's going to school at SMU in Dallas, Texas, taking some summer courses this year, having to drink lots of Rumbauer Chardonnay to get through that. So cheers.
Cheers.
It's great to have you here, and great to have you of legal drinking age so that you can enjoy
This beautiful
fabulous
beverage.
That's right, that's right. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers to another great year.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our 21st annual summer party, the first we've ever had to do virtually. We're delighted to have you with us to help us celebrate the joy of wine and our 40th anniversary.
Some of you may remember when this event started over 20 years ago that it was known as the Chardonnay Extravaganza, and today we are so excited to celebrate the release of the 2019 Chardonnay and taste through the Rombauer portfolio of wines with all of you. So if you've got your wine ready, now's the time to get it out, and let's get started. I'm Cheryl Rydell, Director of Customer Engagement.
And I'm Bob Kniebel, President and CEO. We're broadcasting live today from one of the most photographed spots here in the Napa Valley, the entrance to our wine caves.
We have so much fun in store for you today. We're going to taste through some wines. We're going to do food pairing with some live cooking demonstrations. We've got live music and so much more.
You know, as we mark 40 years in the business of producing outstanding wines, we take this moment to say thanks for your support over the past 4 decades. And speaking of history, let's take a brief look back at how it all got started.
So in 1980, as KR mentioned, that was our first vintage of Cabernet Sauvignon. And we didn't actually break ground here at the winery or crush grapes here until 1982. While the winery was just getting started and it was all hands on deck with the family, the entire family was really busy building the brand. But it wasn't until around 1993 when Joan Rombauer actually gave up her full-time job working at Stag's Leap Wine Cellar, where she was spent 10 years understanding and learning the wine business, to start working officially for Rombauer Vineyards as our national sales manager. With my start date in 1992, I remember joking with Joan that I'd actually worked here longer than she had, although it was really just on paper. The Cabernet Sauvignon was our first wine, but in 1982, we released our Chardonnay. 1983, we were building the portfolio of wines and brought Merlot into the program. And in the early 90s, we added Zinfandel. It wasn't until 2014 when our beautiful Sauvignon Blanc was added.
You know, success over the years has been a result of remaining true to a few core principles established by our founders. The first is that we're an authentic company. We're genuine, we're non-pretentious, we're the real deal. Next, we're passionate, extremely passionate about our industry, about our company, about the colleagues that we work with, and about you, all of our customers. And finally, we're obsessed with quality. And it's that obsession with quality that led to the family consistently working to develop wine varietal styles that our customers would find irresistible. And every year they continue to work to make them better and better. Having persisted through the first couple of decades, which were very lean years here at the winery, thanks to the growth of customer demand, we finally reached a point where the family was able to invest in premium vineyards and further improve their production equipment itself. The emphasis was always on making the wines better. In late 2002, we lost Joan Rombauer to pancreatic cancer. We miss her every day, and the gardens around us are a special tribute to Joan. After a long and fulfilling life, Kerner passed away in 2018. But I'm happy to say that the winery continues to be family-owned and that the second and third generation family members are actively involved in the business. We like to say we're 40 years young and just getting started. You're very much a part of our history too. And to show our appreciation for you, our devoted customers, we'd like to share a message from our team.
Special year for all of us here at Rombauer Vineyards.
As we mark our 40th year of making wine in the Napa Valley.
We are humbled by how far we've come since those early days.
Growing from a handful of barrels in Kerner Rombauer's garage.
To a wine brand beloved by many around the world.
The recognition we have achieved is the result of 40 years of dedication to
quality, passion, investment, and customer engagement.
Following in the footsteps of our founders,
Kerner and Joan, and now with the second and third generation family members.
We are grateful for the journey.
As we celebrate this historic moment,
we are mindful that Rombauer Vineyards
would not be what it is today without
the support of our customers
and partners around the world.
Your loyalty,
friendship,
and patronage
have inspired and guided us
through 40 years of business.
Your devotion to our family,
our staff,
and our delicious wines
has allowed us to invest in and continually improve.
our vineyards and winemaking,
and to elevate our customer experience.
You have enabled us to pursue our vision
of honoring the heritage of the historic regions in which we farm,
acting as stewards of the land,
and giving back to these communities in a meaningful way.
Thank you for your unwavering support.
And thank you for sharing the joy of wine with us for 40 years.
We look forward to many more years in pursuit of our twin passions:
crafting exceptional wines
and sharing them with you, our dear friends.
Well, Cheryl, this is, after all, our official and traditional Chardonnay release party. So if you have the wine with you now, everybody at home, please pour a little bit of that 2019 vintage Rombauer Chardonnay into the glass, and let's get ready to taste it together. If you have some of the 2018 vintage, pour that. You're going to find that very beautiful as well. And my suggestion is if you have both, put a little bit in each of 2 glasses so you can try them side by side with our winemakers in the next few minutes.
Well, Bob, what do you say we head out to the vineyard where the grapes are grown and into the cellar where the wine's made?
I think that's a great idea. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm Rich Allen, I'm the Director of Viticulture and Winemaking.
And I'm Patrick Tokar, I'm the viticulturalist for Rombauer Vineyards, and we're here at DeVito Ranch, one of the many estate vineyards owned by Rombauer Vineyards.
So it was 20 years before Colonel Rombauer purchased his first vineyard, and now that we're here in our 40th year, that means a lot to us. Being able to control everything from 48 inches down the soil to the bottling process allows us to really take control of the quality and make sure our customers get the best wine possible.
We have this ranch, DeVito, Buckley Station and Pacific, which is Chardonnay and Merlot. We have Hackett, which is Cabernet, Atlas Peak, which is Cabernet, Stice, which is also Cabernet, and then our Bennett Ranch up in Calistoga, which is Cabernet, Zinfandel, Sauvignon Blanc, and Petit Verdot. And of course, we've got Twin Rivers in the El Dorado County, which has Zinfandel, Petit Syrah, and a bunch of port varieties.
So we're here today at the southern tip of the Napa and Sonoma Valleys in the Canaris region, which is one of the only appellations that spans both Napa and Sonoma. It's very close to San Pablo Bay, as you can see behind us. And what's really interesting about it for us when it comes to making Chardonnay is we're looking at a very narrow strip. So it's about 4 miles north to south, 20 miles east to west. We start picking on the Napa side and work our way across. That proximity to San Pablo Bay and the clay soils allow us to ripen Chardonnay. It's got a very high fruit flavor and high fruit intensity, yet retain acid. And that's exactly what we're looking for when it comes to making Rombauer Chardonnay.
So DeVito is 174 acres, a beautiful vineyard. You can see it's got hills, it's got some flat areas, so it's got a little bit of all the different types of terrain. It was purchased in 2013, and we developed it over 3 years, 14, 15, and 16, each year doing about 60 acres. The rolling hills behind us, that is actually a very famous shot. If you guys can remember Windows XP, the home screen there, Bliss, was taken right down there. So just a fun fact.
The most seen photograph in the world, actually.
There you go.
One of the reasons the DeVito Ranch is so good for Chardonnay, it has our favorite soil type for growing Chardonnay, hair clay loam. It has many different aspects on rolling hills, but also, again, it's right in that Goldilocks zone, the 4 miles north to south, the 20-mile wide region, and that allows us to get this perfectly ripened fruit. I mean, you can see here on the vines, they're looking pretty pristine. We've been working with the vineyard now for several years. We're starting to identify the best plots and the best sections, and hopefully in the future we'll see a single vineyard Chardonnay as the vineyard matures. So Patrick, could you tell us a little bit about the 2019 growing season and why it was so good?
Sure. So 2019 was a great year for growing grapes. It started out really nice and mild. We got a little bit of late rains, which was fine because it filled up our soil profile. And then the weather stayed really nice throughout the whole year. So we didn't have some really huge heat spikes, and everything just came about naturally. It was a perfect year.
But speaking about Chardonnay, we probably should taste some. I'm going to pour you a glass here of the 2019. This particular wine, actually about 15% of it comes from this ranch. About 70% of it comes from the Sonoma side of Canaris.
Well, I think one of the most beautiful things about working for Rombauer is being able to come out here and watch the vines develop throughout the year, watch the fruit grow, ripen, and then we get to pick it, and I finally get to taste the fruits of my labor. So Rombauer Vineyards is very proud of their vineyards and very dedicated to the land, and because of that, every property in the estate vineyard program is certified sustainable through various programs. And this means that we take care of the vines and the vineyards, the land, a little bit more consciously than just conventional farming. We look at different aspects in the vineyard, whether it be owl boxes or hawk perches for vertebrate control, natural vertebrate control, or we try to reduce the amount of pesticides we use in the field. We also are very careful in the amount of water that we use because water is such a valuable resource to us that we want to make sure that we're only using as much as we need.
One of the aspects that we're really proud of in our sustainability program is our compost. Whenever we see a nutrient deficiency in the vineyard, we're big believers in using organic compost under the vine row to ensure that the vines stay healthy for the next generation to come. So now that you've seen the vineyard, we're going to throw it over to our state-of-the-art Chardonnay production facility and the guys over there to tell you a little bit more about how the wine is made.
Thanks, Richie. Hi, I'm Andrew Holloway, the Associate Winemaker here at Rombauer Vineyards. And now that you've seen where the Chardonnay is grown, let's take a look inside the Napa state-of-the-art Chardonnay winery to see where we make it. Come on. So here we are on the crush pad where the Chardonnay fruit during harvest is picked at night, comes in the early morning hours, 3, 4, 5 a.m. So we put it right into these bladder presses behind me, which separate the juice right from the skins and seeds, which goes to tank. So let's go see those tanks. So here we are at the tanks where the freshly pressed juice has just come from the presses and across these fixed lines into the tanks. It's going to settle for about 24 hours and then it'll go straight to barrel. And that's where we're going to go take a look at how it's fermenting along. So let's go. Now we're here in the barrel room where the Chardonnay is fermenting away. Barrel fermentation is a really key aspect of the winemaking philosophy here at Rombauer. It really delivers the texture and creaminess that we're looking for. And behind me you have John and Oki. John with 21 years and Oki 32 years of stirring experience. So these guys kind of know what they're doing. But what they're doing is they're stirring the lees to resuspend the solids and create that creamy textured mouthfeel that you're really come accustomed to with Rombauer Chardonnay, and really a key aspect for the wine for us. So yeah, carry away guys. So here we are at the last step where we get the wine right in the bottle. Fresh off the line and coming on a truck near you. Cheers.
So Richie, we've discussed sustainable farming practices, fruit sourcing, the 2019 growing season, and quality production processes.
Yep.
Let's get down and talk about the wine itself. How's it taste?
It's, well, I have some pre-poured for me, which is great. And we're actually going to taste through both. So we've got the 2019, which a lot of you will have got shipped today. And then we also have the 2018, which I'm sure a lot of you are working your way through. The 2018, you know, it's really hitting its stride now. It's got about a year in the bottle. But the 2019, it really was from a good year. It's really bright and fresh. And when the wine's young, it tends to show a little more of those citrus components, and the acid is a little bit brighter, and the wine's a little more tightly wound. If you look then at the 18, which is, you know, had a year in the bottle, that really is showing those quintessential hallmarks of Rombauer Chardonnay. And we always talk about those 5 core components of Rombauer Chardonnay, and that really starts with the ripe fruit, and that's what we build the wine around. After that, we have this creamy mid-palate from the lee stirring, which you saw John and Oki doing. We have the vanilla oak from the barrels and barrel fermentation, which Andrew mentioned, and that buttery finish. And that's really the hallmark of Rombauer Chardonnay, but it's all held together with acid. And white wine derives its texture from the acid, and that's what holds it together. So we're seeing that right now in the 18, but the 19, while that creamy component is a little bit suppressed and the buttery component is a little bit suppressed, those come out with about a year in the bottle. And so, I mean, it's quite the amazing vintage 19.
Yep.
I'm really excited to have it today, but it's going to take a little time for it to turn into a true Rombauer Chardonnay.
Yep.
Outstanding.
But it's something we see year in and year out. In the 2019 growing season, we couldn't be more fortunate, really. And the 18, if you could look back, it's almost like a replicate of 2019. A beautiful growing season, long, moderate temperatures. But really, the big difference here is the bottle age. And so it's been in bottle for about a year, and then, you know, about a month on the 2019. So it's a great opportunity, if you're lucky enough to have the 18 and 19 at home, to really see what a year in bottle will do to the wine. So here we have the 18 and the 19 luckily poured for us. And if you start off with the 18, first off, you can just see it's a little bit more golden, and it's just had that time in bottle to really, you know, calm down, fill out in its texture.
Become plush out.
And become plush, yeah, really what you're used to. And right off the back, I mean, it's like apricots, peaches, vanilla, and you get that
buttery finish.
Creamy texture and buttery finish. And it's a hallmark of what we're looking for. And the 19, if you go to it, the fruit's a little bit more of that citrus and tropical, and it's something that we always see right off the bat. But it's a beautiful Chardonnay. There's still a plushness to it, just an inherent plushness with that fruit that we're getting beautiful, like beautifully ripened fruit with great natural acidity, and it's really coming through in this. And I think over time, in 6-9 months, it's really going to flesh out, show that cream, show the butter, and really become what you're used to. But I mean, couldn't ask for something better off to start with.
It's just so vibrant right now. I mean, that's what we look for when the wine is young, a vibrancy and a freshness on the palate.
And the fruit intensity. For me, it's the fruit intensity of 19 is something that I'm super excited about. I mean, couldn't ask for something better to start off. I mean,
exactly.
It's incredible. So,
it's just
cheers.
flat out delicious. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. There's not a better way to say it.
Cheers.
Delicious is the easiest compliment.
Speaking of delicious, I think often about the foods I love to pair this wine with, and seared scallops or fresh Dungeness crab, light pasta dishes,
lobster mac and
halibut,
cheese,
lobster mac and cheese, any lobster dish, yes. So it turns out that all of you like to pair this wine with your favorite foods as well, and at your favorite restaurants. And you have consistently over the years asked your favorite local restaurants to add Rombauer Chardonnay to the wine list. And as a consequence, over time, we've become very, very popular. In fact, for the last 17 years, we have been in the top 10 on the Wine and Spirits magazine list of the most popular Chardonnays in American restaurants. For the last 2 years running, we've been the #1 most popular Chardonnay, and that is a testament to you and your support for the wine. So thank you very much for that. Now, speaking of great American restaurants, we're fortunate to have one of our great friends, Chef Daniel Bruce of Meritage Restaurant at Boston Harbor Hotel, who has prepared a very special New England seafood dish to accompany specifically the 2019 Rombauer Carneros Chardonnay. And right now we'd like to watch him and listen to him tell us about that dish.
Hi, I'm Chef Daniel Bruce, and today I'm thrilled to be pairing the 2019 Carneros Rombauer Chardonnay with some great New England seafood. Well, today I'm excited to be pairing the 2019 Rombauer Chardonnay with some great New England seafood. And the reason I'm doing it is I always taste the wine first. In this case, the wine had these wonderful flavors of unripened peach, sweet corn, vanilla, a little bit of butteriness, and also finished with bright acidity, and that's really important when you pair it with seafood. So I'm looking forward to showing you this great recipe that's going to be a knockout for this Rombauer Chardonnay. We're going to start with the sauce. Now, the sauce is so important when you're doing wine and food pairings. We're going to start with the corn. Some people do it this way. You better actually to lay it on its side and then just pull it there, and the corn doesn't go anywhere. It just sits right there. And also, you don't lose any corn, which is important. I'm from New England. We don't waste anything. That's very important. And we're going to add to that just a little bit of shallots. Nice and thin, which the shallot adds a nice sort of a counterbalance to the sweetness of that corn to the sauce. So we're going to add a little bit of this Rombauer Chardonnay, and you can smell it. It's wonderful when it's burning off, because you can really get all those wonderful sort of citrus and vanilla notes of the Chardonnay as it's cooking, and it really mingles well with the corn. I'm just going to add a little light cream. I'm going to add just a touch to finish with salt. You can use sea salt. Sea salt's great with fish. It has a brininess to it that I like. That will be our base for our sauce. We're going to take summer flounder. This is a New England flounder. Just a quick thing on fish. Fish should be translucent, and this one is, you can see, wonderful flavor. You want to make sure it's really fresh, that's important. So now with 4 simple ingredients, we're going to make the filling for this sole that's really going to pull out even more flavors on that Carnaro Chardonnay. And we're going to start with some scallops. These are dayboat scallops. I have a little bit of the trim from the fish that we just used. That goes in. We're going to add a pinch of salt. And we're going to add some spinach. We're going to add some cream. Not too much. And here we go. We have a filling, and that's how quick our filling is done. And then what you want to do is just slowly roll this around itself. Roll, and it comes out beautiful. And you take the tapered end, and you drop it here. You have this beautiful looking sole. We're going to add just a touch of the Chardonnay. Not too much, because we love this Chardonnay and we have to drink a lot of it ourselves. But this is going to be great because the wine is actually poaching this fish in the oven, and it's going to just really blend the flavors of the fish in the Chardonnay. And you can see this sauce is absolutely beautiful now. It's ready to go. So now it looks like the sole is just about ready. You can see how beautiful these sole look. And they pinwheel just beautifully, and they're so delicate, but now I've built all these flavors in with the spinach and the scallops. We're going to build this plate with a little sauce. Just pour a little sauce. And then we're going to take one piece of sole, very carefully lift that up, put that right in the center. I always love growing my own vegetables and herbs, and it really gives me a strong connection to the land. And in this case, with this Rombauer Chardonnay, I'm looking for some aromatics, but some really sort of delicate flavors to enhance that beautiful citrus element. So these are cucumber blossoms. Should finish out that dish nicely. These are pea shoots. These are popcorn pea shoots. And the pea shoots are great because they have a wonderful sweetness, but they also have a touch of bitterness, which would be kind of nice to counter that. And also pick some great little just parsley, and I'm just going to drop it in there. It adds a nice little refreshing aspect to this dish. And then, of course, I have just a little red vein beet green I had. We'll drop that in there. The thing I like about this dish and why it's all going to work well together, because we have a lot of parallel flavors. The parallel flavors being, of course, the corn. We have the brininess, which really works well against the citrus flavors of this wine, and that's coming from the spinach and also coming from the sole and the scallops themselves. The brininess is wonderful, and all together, it's like making a great wine. When you make a dish that works with wine, there's a lot of different ingredients, subtle ingredients that make the difference, and that's why this Chardonnay is so good, and that's why this dish with the Chardonnay is going to work so well. So cheers.
Chef Daniel Bruce, a true culinary artist. Wasn't that dish just beautiful? You know, the recipe for that dish can be found on our website, on the events page. In fact, for not only that dish, but for all the dishes that we're pairing today. So please take a look, and I know I'll be trying to make this at home.
Mine won't
myself.
look like that.
Probably neither will mine.
Looks delicious, though.
You know, this is our annual Joy of Wine event, and it just wouldn't be the same without live music. Don't you think, Richie?
I think if you've ever attended the Joy of Wine, you know that live music is a part of it. And if you have been before, you've probably seen the artist you're about to see next. He's got a very similar name to Rombauer. It is Rombauer. And he's going to play us a little song.
Yeah, so let's see what he has lined up for us.
I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead, sleeping in my bed, and sleeping in my bed. So show me family and the place that I will be. I don't know where I belong, I don't know where I went wrong, but I can write a song. 'Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Hey! Ho! Hey! Ho! I don't think you're right for him. Think of what we might have been. Took a bus to Chinatown and waiting on Canoe, and that will be. She'll be waiting next to me. 'Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Hey! Ho! I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. Been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed. 'Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart.
Whew! Rombauer, wasn't that fun? I don't know about you, but I was up and dancing, except I was here on this deck in the sun on a warm summer day here in the Napa Valley. So I'm a little cooked, and I think it's about time to go in our caves and try a little bit of our red wines. Won't you join me? Follow me on in.
Oh, look who's here. Hey, come on.
Nice
Hi,
seeing
Jesse.
you down here. How's
How
it
are you
going?
doing?
Pretty
Yeah.
good. This is my favorite place to be.
I'll bet it is.
Yeah.
How are you today? What are we tasting today?
Well, Bob, I have the 2017 Napa Valley Merlot.
Oh,
Yeah.
one of my favorites here.
One of my
I love
favorites.
this wine. Yes.
This is actually coming from the Carneros region, which interestingly enough is the same exact place that we pull our Chardonnay. Shall we taste?
I would love
I think
to
I'm
taste
dying
this
to do
wine.
it.
I am too. I've been outside where it's hot and I'm thirsty. Thank you.
Welcome.
You'll join me in a little, I hope?
Oh, yes.
Awesome. Cheers, Jesse. What a lovely wine. So what am I experiencing here? Tell me about this.
We got a lot of blue fruit, some cherries, a little bit of oak.
Lovely fragrance. A little bit of lavender or violet fragrance in there. It's just such a beautiful wine.
Definitely.
Oh, you know, I probably would admit this is sort of our daily drinker at home. This is a wine we love to taste and share with friends because it pairs so well with so many different foods. What are some of your favorites, Jesse?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. I think our winemakers will always say lamb shanks, but I'll go with pizza.
Lamb shanks.
Lamb shanks.
There's always the
There's always
lamb
the lamb.
component with our Australian winemakers, no
Yes.
doubt about it. Yeah, I love it with duck as well, chicken dishes, light pasta dishes, and so on. So just a beautiful, very versatile wine, classic style of Merlot. We love it. Here we are at our next station. Let me introduce you to my good friend Carl. Hello, Carl.
Hey guys. Hey,
How you
Bob.
doing, buddy?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Cheers.
Nice to see you.
Good
I
to
brought
see
an
you.
empty glass along, Carl.
Wonderful.
What are we about to put into this
Well, I know we
glass?
have the evaporation problem down here, but we'll put some wine in there. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. What are we tasting today?
We've got the 2017 Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon.
Thank you. Will you join me in a little taste?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Amazing. Cheers, Carl.
Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
Ah, delicious. The king of wines here in the Napa Valley, the wine that made Napa Valley really famous.
Yes.
Carol, tell me what you're sensing in this wine and tasting.
I just love the dark fruit, and it's just that soft tannins you have. Yeah, it screams steak, filet mignon. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
So some of you may not know, we're certainly well known for our Carnero Chardonnay, but in actual fact it was Cabernet. Cabernet was our first vintage in 1980. And it's been a very special wine for us to make all throughout these years. We're very proud. Cheers. Well, hello again, folks. We had a great time visiting with Carl and tasting our Napa Cab. We're 20 feet below our tasting room here in these wonderful caves, and now we're on to the next station where we're going to be tasting our Reserve Cabernet. We call it our Diamond Selection. And I'll just tell you right off the bat that this is my desert island wine. This is the wine, if I was stranded on a desert island and I could only take one bottle, this is it. It's an amazing Cabernet. To help me share that with you, I'm happy to introduce Nicolette. Nicolette Ortega is our wine club manager. Nicolette, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you today, Bob?
Nice and cool here in the caves. Doesn't it feel good?
My favorite spot to be during this event.
What a great place to taste wine.
Yes.
All right. So what vintage of our Diamond Selection are we tasting today?
Today we're featuring our 2016 Diamond Selection Cabernet coming from the top vineyards in the Napa Valley.
I'm so excited. Yes. Nicolette's just pointed out the top vineyards in the Napa Valley. We were very fortunate over the last 20 years as the business grew slowly, and the founder, Kerner, was investing in premium Cabernet vineyard properties to begin with. And so we find that, again, the hillside from our Atlas Peak vineyard and from our Stice Lane vineyards down on the valley floor, certain lots in those vineyards consistently give us superior fruit. So we set those aside. We keep those separate all the way through the fermentation and aging process. So we have designated lots, and then when it comes time to blend, we look for the very best barrels from those lots. So site selection, lot selection, barrel selection, only the best of the best makes it into this beautiful Reserve Cabernet. I'm ready to taste some. How about you, Nick?
Same here.
All right, cheers. Cheers, everyone. Wow. Deep, dark, red fruit, lovely taste, cassis,
black currant.
Black currant, yes.
Rich and lush.
Oh, they're just delicious. Nice, approachable wine. Very well balanced wine. I love this wine. Beautiful wine. Really a favorite. I hope if you haven't had a chance to try this yourself, that you'll get a hold of a bottle of this because it's quite beautiful, quite exceptional.
Cheers.
Cheers, Nick. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So here we are just finishing up on the last leg of our tour through our caves today. And at our last station, I'd like to introduce you to Kimberly, who heads up our tasting room operations here at our St. Helena tasting room. Hey, Kimberly.
Hello, Bob.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
What are you going to pour for me today?
Today we're doing our Rombauer Zinfandel. This is our 2018 vintage. It's our classic Zinfandel, and it is just my favorite, hands down. Zin is my jam, for sure.
Just recently released, actually, this beautiful new vintage. I think it's one of our best yet. Very, very, very delicious. But let's taste the wine. Enough talk,
Absolutely.
shall we? Cheers, Kimberly.
Cheers, Bob.
Very nice to meet you. Oh, those beautiful, dark, rich fruits.
With this Zinfandel, you're going to perceive that really juicy fruit on the front end there on the nose.
Yes.
It's got a blackberry jam, boysenberry jam kind of flavor in there.
Yeah.
And then it's really nicely balanced. There's some vanilla, there's some spice. It's just,
up there. What's your favorite pairing with this wine?
Oh my gosh, hands down baby back ribs. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything on the grill, really. Anything barbecue is delicious.
Yes, yes. A carbonara, pasta, a beautiful ribeye steak. This is growing in terms of demand. And believe it or not, even though we became known somewhat for Chardonnay over the years, We have customers out there who don't even know we make a Chardonnay because this is their favorite wine. Amazing also with chocolate desserts, this wine.
Absolutely.
Really tasty. Thank you for enjoying it with us. I hope many of you have some in your glass right now and that you're tasting it alongside with us. Well, this has been a really fun walk through our beautiful, cool caves on this warm summer day. But enough time in here. Let's head back outside and see what's going on, shall we?
I feel much better after having been in the caves for a little while. I'm cooled down again now, and you know, as we've conducted these virtual tastings over the last few months, I always enjoy seeing the Zinfandel lovers come up. We can see the stream of their comments as we're hosting those tastings, and it's really fun to see what kind of passion is around that. But we've had a great time tasting through our red wine portfolio in the caves, but now it's time we head on over to production and see how we actually make these beautiful wines.
Cool, thanks Bob. G'day everyone, Luke Clayton here, winemaker for Rombauer Vineyards. So we're right here on the lower crush pad, and it's quiet now, but in a few months we'll be rocking and rolling with grapes left, right and centre. And what we do here, we do some of our delicious Cabernet, our Merlot and a little bit of a Zinfandel. Alright, so once the fruit is hand harvested and sorted in the vineyard and comes to the winery, we actually do one more step after we destem it. We run it through an optical sorter. And basically what this optical sorter does is a high-speed camera that takes a photo of every berry that flies through. It actually separates the good fruit from the bad fruit. Once it goes through the optical sorter, it either goes to tank or barrel for fermentation. So come on, let's go have a look, eh? So after we've optically sorted, a portion of the grapes come in here to the tank fermentation room to get fermented. And basically in a few months, this is where all the magic's going to happen. So once the grapes are in the tanks, and here we use a pump, which basically pumps the juice from the bottom of the tank over to the top to help extract the colour and the tannins from the skins. All right, so we talked about a portion going to tank, and now here is the portion that goes to barrel for barrel fermentation. So let me tell you about the process. It's highly labour intensive. So behind me we've got a barrel, and so we've got to fill it with grapes. So we have the guys who've got to knock these three hoops off, pop the head out, fill it about 3/4 full, or about 400 pounds of grapes, put the head and the hoops back on, and then it comes in here. And in the tanks, we have the pumps to pump it over, but here we usually get interns from South Africa, nice big strong boys, to come in here and spin the barrels. Putting in these barrels in the fermentation, it allows us a seamless integration of oak and fruit together. So it adds more weight and texture on the palate. All right, so now after the wine has fermented in the barrel or in the tank, we need to drain the juice out, but in the skins that is left, there's still a lot of wine. So we actually use a traditional basket press. Well, it's a newer version updated with technology. And what we do, we fill it up and then we slowly put pressure on the top. And then the juice is pushed out through the grapes. And as it does that, it filters it out. So we're just left with the rich wine, but all the harsh phenolics from the skins and seeds are left in the press. So we're just left with the highest quality of fruit. From there, we're just left with a hard cake or pumice of grapes that goes back into compost in the vineyard, and the wine goes to tank, which will further end up in barrels in a week or two. All right, after the basket press, it's time to put the wine to bed for a bit of aging. So where I am, I'm in the beautiful caves, which was built in the late 90s. Completely full, we can have about 2,500 barrels. But the beautiful thing about this cave is all year round, it's a constant temperature of about 65 degrees, which is perfect for aging our wine. So after about 15 months in the barrel, we blend it, send it to the bottling line, and send it to you. Cheers, guys.
Oh, thanks for the tour, Luke. That was amazing.
Yeah, no worries, Bob, anytime.
For everybody watching at home, if you ever get a chance to taste a glass of wine from that free stream coming out of a basket press, that's a must. That's a must. You have to try that. Well, Luke, you know, we're fast approaching the 2020 harvest. How's the growing season going?
Yeah, the growing season should be good. Really excited. The vines, they started off awake a little bit earlier than normal, but that's all right. So right now in the vineyard, we're going through veraison. So the grapes are softening. We're getting a bit of colour out there, but we're all excited. Usually a early harvest usually ends up exceptional quality in the wine. So the winemaking team here is really excited to attack and make great wines this year and see what happens.
We're all ready. We're all looking forward to it, I know. You know, I heard you mention that we make a little bit of Zinfandel here at our St. Helena facility. But what some of our guests may not know is that we actually produce most of our Zinfandel in the region where we source the majority of our fruit for this beautiful wine, that delicious fruit, over in the Sierra Nevada foothills. So with that, let's head out to our new winery there and have a look around with Megan Foley.
Welcome to Rombauer Sierra Foothills. My name is Megan Foley, Director of Retail Operations, and I'm thrilled to share this beautiful property with you. Let's take a look.
As you can see, the property offers beautiful grounds for our guests to enjoy while relaxing with a glass of Rombauer wine. Meet one of our guest ambassadors, Sydney Weaver. And welcome to our main entrance in the tasting room. Let's go see who's pouring in the tasting bar. Hi, Eddie G.
How are you doing today?
Well, and yourself?
I'm doing great, thanks for asking.
Would you do me the favor of pouring me a splash of my favorite?
With pleasure.
Thank you. As you can see, we've made some modifications to the tasting room to keep our employees and our guests safe. In addition to the other tasting room you saw, we opened up this space to accommodate more guests. Everybody give a warm welcome to Jake. We opened this tasting room in April 2019 and have enjoyed welcoming guests from all over the world. Our founder, Kerner Rombauer, had a special place in his heart for the Sierra Foothills. He started buying grapes and making Zinfandel from the region in 1990. He then purchased the prized vineyard in El Dorado County in 2010, and we call that vineyard Twin Rivers. This beautiful 148-acre vineyard is home to a number of grape varieties, including Zinfandel, Petit Syrah, Primitivo, Tinta Cao, Touriga Nacional, Alvarejo, and Suzao. A great benefit to quality is having the ability to produce wine near the vineyard source. Our Sierra Foothills Winery is a short 3-mile drive from the vineyard. We're able to pick our fruit early in the morning while it's still cool and get it right into tank for fermentation. Our winery and tasting room are located in Plymouth, which is a small town in Amador County, just an hour east of Sacramento in the Sierra Nevada foothills. I invite you all to visit us in the Sierra Foothills for delicious wines, warm hospitality, and a wonderful experience, creating joyful moments with our staff, your friends, and loved ones.
Hi everyone, Eddie Maria here, Hospitality Manager at Rombauer in the Sierra Foothills. Let's all grab a glass and enjoy some music by David Ronconi.
Hey there, my name is David Ronconi, coming to you from the Foothills location of Rombauer Winery. So excited to be celebrating the 40th anniversary. Congratulations, Rombauer. I'm going to play a few songs for you. This first one is called Our Love. Baby, you got what I need. You got that love, sweet, sweet everything. So won't you come and hold me close? You got that pure lifestyle you know I love the most. Come on, let's see. Come on, let's see just where this might go. Let's take a ride on the Caribbean side. See that sweeter, softer, sunny side of life. And while we're there, just soak it in. Give me something to remember for a new life to begin. We need more sunrise, fewer sunset. We can watch the rising, we can never forget our love, our love. You got my hand and I got your ring. In my arms, you know you hold the key. Where we go, I'll be by your side. Just give me that back on and baby, I'll feel alright. We need more sunrise, fewer sunsets. We can watch the rising, we can never forget our love, our love. Baby, this time ain't real. sometime to lose. 'Cause in your arms I've got the prettiest of views. We need more sunrise, fewer sunset. We can watch the rising, we can never forget. We need more sunrise. Now love.
A glass of Rombauer's in and listening to David Ronconi. I think I could do that all afternoon. Welcome back, everyone. And I'm joined now by Michael Code, the newest member of our winemaking team, our associate winemaker, and Rombauer Vineyards Sierra Foothills site manager. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Megan and Eddie took us on a tour of the beautiful tasting room that we have up in the Sierra Foothills, and I thought I'd take you on a little bit more of a journey around the AVA out there. What can you expect? Well, we are, as Megan touched on, we're an hour northeast of Sacramento, but obviously on the way to South Lake Tahoe. And also we are 2 hours west of Carson City, so with the current environment that we're in, it sounds like an ideal opportunity to do some local vacationing. Yeah. And, well, we are open from Thursday to Monday, but I have met a few locals and they've thoroughly enjoyed coming up on their work-from-home days for a Thursday casual lunch and enjoyed a bottle of Chardonnay. And the beautiful couple that I met were from Roseville, and I think they got it right. You know, they came up, they were enjoying a bottle of Chardonnay, we had a nice chat. But for you, I think there's an opportunity to find some of the secret watering holes that are hidden around. You know, there's a lot of great bit of scenery out there. There's some very enticing secluded campsites and watering holes, like I touched on.
Beautiful area.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
But also,
yeah.
it's there's lots of enticing lakes, and with the current temperatures that we have and the outdoors to be had, I think it's a great opportunity to get out there and enjoy some of the scenery. So, what else can you find? Well, my wife and I recently moved out there from the East Bay of San Francisco, and we have 5 acres up the hill from the winery. It is just beautiful out there. It's very quiet, and you have lots of serenity. You're kind of off the grid. You know, we live on a property where we drink water from the well. Obviously, quite a long way down. We have solar power. Panels that power the house completely during summer, so when we need the AC, we're completely covered, and PG&E make a nice little living out of us. But that's good. At least we give back, and you know, we enjoy a lot of the sustainability that Rombauer strives to be. So I feel like we're not only giving back to the community in that way, but also obviously being quite responsible landowners. You know, I've worked around the world for many years. I've started my career in Australia. I was fortunate enough to enjoy and travel around a lot of Australia and worked in many different regions with lots of great winemakers. But I also worked in Bordeaux and the Rhone Valley and Niagara-on-the-Lake, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my time and the things and experiences that I had. But what I do know is that I'm on a little piece of gold out there in the Sierra Foothills. It's very picturesque. I rub shoulders with arguably some of California's oldest vines. You know, they date back to the gold rush, which was in the 1860s. And a lot of historians have touched on the fact that that's probably where Zinfandel actually got its start. You know, they tried to trace it back and they connected to Primitivo or Tribadad. And I've been very privileged to meet the likes of Tom Dillion, Ken Diva, Dick Cooper, and Scott Harvey, and the stories I've heard are just fantastic. And there's so much more to learn, and the diversity in the terroir and the wines that we see out there are just brilliant. I know that the single vineyards we have here are a really good example of just preserving the fruit that we have in the wines. And I look forward to working with the team here, and I'm very privileged to be part of the team, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. The likes of Gino Rinaldi, I he's one example of many great growers out there. I can see the Zinfandel line expanding. He has over 100-year-old vines that are dry grown, and they're in a little gully, and there's so much diversity within that vineyard alone, and it's just so exciting to see that one example flourish and become an ideal blend that we have. And that also, just like our own single vineyard, which is a lot younger, but we did use a lot of the clones from around the region. So we have cuttings that we use to grow our own vineyard from Diva, Ferrero, Rinaldi. Like, the list goes on, and it's so fantastic how tight that community is and how willing they are to just help share all the knowledge and the material that they have. It's so fantastic to be part of that. And what I have come to know is that the beautiful jammy red, the soft palate, the nice toasted oak, and that spice on the finish just keep giving. And I think the team here have done a great job, and I really look forward to just bringing that home and keeping that going. I've really enjoyed discovering the beauties of pork, particularly with this recipe, like pulled pork. My wife is all about it. I have to give a shout out to her because she's online, and if I didn't mention how good a pulled pork is, we're Australian and pulled pork isn't something normal for us. And I have to address Jesse's concern that these winemakers only like lamb shanks. I mean, we also like a lamb shoulder. So, we got to give a call out there. But over to Bob. I know he's going to drop us a line on a few recipes.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Michael, we're delighted to have you as a member of the team. Welcome to you and Stephanie. And you mentioned the close-knit nature of the Sierra Foothills community, and I think that's so true. That's what we've discovered in our time there. We've been sourcing fruit over there since the 1990s. It's really been core to the development of our Zinfandel program for many years. And I don't know if all of you who are watching know that we do make 5 different Zinfandels, and I encourage you to try and enjoy them all. I know you will, I promise. I also think that the heritage of that region is not really well understood or appreciated. And if you haven't had a chance to travel over that way or to visit us at our Sierra Foothills tasting room, I encourage you to do that as soon as conditions allow. It's a very special place. We're very proud of our team there as well, and look forward to hosting you there. We're as you can see through the tastings of each of our varietals today, we're often asked, what are your favorite food pairings with each of these wines? And thank you for talking about that pulled pork, Michael. That sounds delicious. But today we're really privileged, actually, to share a very special pairing that was created by a favorite friend of Kerner's, a longtime friend and a world-renowned chef in the Napa Valley here, Michael Chiarello. So with that, just watch what he's preparing for us.
Hi, I'm Michael Chiarello, the chef and owner of Bottega Restaurant in Yountville. But back in the day, I was a pup, 24 years old, moving to the Napa Valley, chef at a restaurant called Vineyard. So busy, so crazy. It was before Italian food was Italian food. It was spaghetti and meatballs. And Kerner was the loudest voice in the room from the first moment that they walked in. And it didn't stop for 30 years. He's the most lovely son of a gun you'll ever know. I don't know a friend I have, I'm a chef and we tend to be a little spicy, that you don't at some point get a little irked at. Just wouldn't happen. It was a celebration. The party started when his voice started. And we came in the back door of the kitchen. Oh, by the way, Kerner just showed up. He just showed up. He just showed the hell up. Wherever he was, whatever he wanted, whatever he was doing, whatever he was driving, at that moment he showed up and the party started with, hey, Chiarello, I'm hungry. 5 of us, right in the back door of the kitchen. Doesn't matter if we're in the middle of cooking 300 dinners. Those sissies are going in the front door. Where's my table? You don't have a reservation, sir. I didn't say I had a reservation. Where's my table? Where am I sitting? That's how it started. You would never know what a lovely man he was until you knew what a lovely man he was. And it didn't stop. Wherever you needed. Anytime. Even when he got old. You sat down. Drank the wine. That don't like it, I'll find something you like. Find something you like. You sit in the restaurant, dumb as a fox, my mom would say. Colonel Rumbauer, dumb as a fox. He'd scan the entire room. And he'd say, who's a Rumbauer potential drinker here? So smart, this guy, dumb as a fox. He would look in my room on a Saturday night and he would scan every single table. And he would look to see what they were wearing, what they were dressed. You wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think it of him. But when you watched him do this work, he was starting his meal marketing Rumbauer. To not know an inkling of marketing, to be able to look into the room and see who they are, buy the wine, send it over, have it poured, go over and share the story. Rumbauer Vineyards became the winery that it is today, one customer at a time, with Kerner opening every glass for the first 100,000 customers. Kerner, especially when Joan was at his side, nobody was better. As a man in our lifetime, you would hope to feel or experience or have or know somebody that had the extraordinary love that he had for Joan. He, if you've ever known him, could be a little prickly, could feel his airs every once in a while, unless Joan was there. Joan reminded him to love life every moment they were together, and his love for her turned into his love for life. The winery was never the winery without Joan. After he was old and my mom was getting ready to pass, he instructed his son to fly me back and forth to my mom's house. Because I had to go once a week and cook and mow the lawn and cook for my dad, who was disabled at the time. Didn't ask me if I needed a ride. Didn't ask me to ever pay. Just told me where to show up. Like he has for hundreds of thousands of wine consumers. The Napa Valley is an experience that you can consume. It's a little less right now without Kerner. Michael, you like Zinfandel? It's like that Primitivo they call it in Italy. I made some Zinfandel. I need a dish to go with it. I want to come to your damn restaurant more often. Can you make a dish that goes with it? I made a short rib dish that I created for him 500,000 times now. I have a lot to be thankful for. Being in Napa Valley. Without Kerner here, then, for all of us now, it'd be a totally different place. While you're thinking about that, I'm going to show you how we whoop together his short rib. All right, I can't believe I'm doing this. Because I've never done this dish on video. I put a recipe in a book once, but it really wasn't the recipe. So Kerner says, my Zinfandel's so damn good, I want a dish that can chew it back. I made this. Any jerk can take a ribeye steak, make me something else. It needs to be red meat. It needs to be delicious. We do short rib. You hear short rib now, everyone's saying, oh yeah, you do short rib. It didn't exist. It didn't exist. My family were butchers. My mother, my godfather, my uncle, my grandfather, they're all butchers. We never ate the steaks. We ate short ribs. We ate long ribs. We ate testicles, foreskin. We ate everything else except the steak. We sold the steak. Take a short rib like this, which is delicious. It brines, a sugary, salty water. It makes it super tender. It brines for 4 hours. And then we smoke it. This one was already smoked. Smokes for 4 hours cold. Not hot. In barbecue. Cold smokes. And then you braise it. You don't have to season it afterwards because it's already seasoned. And then you want to sear it. So this is a brine a day, smoke a day, braise a day. In theory, if you're going to do this at home. There's a lot of dishes of mine that I've done over the years that you may want to cook at home. I'd come to Bottega for this one. Kerner didn't mess with this. Joan didn't mess with this dish. So make it really simple. I'm going to take you through it quickly. Pan gets hot. You sear on all 4 sides. Once that's seared, imagine it's seared for a second. Vegetables go in. And those caramelized. deeply. Vegetables are more of the flavor in the sauce than the meat itself. Meat gives us unctuousness, but the vegetables gives us that richness. So imagine these are going to continue to cook, continue to cook. The vegetables get super, super brown. And you add a little elixir. The Zinfandel cooks all the way down. Zinfandel cooks all the way down. Whatever stock we have on hand, roasted chicken or veal stock will go on top of that and it'll braise forever and ever and ever until it looked like that. And the sauce is all reduced and unctuous and delicious. You just push your finger right through it just like that. This is a cross-cut short rib, like the Chinese do. Not like the Brits do where they're super long. Very, very delicious. You can do this the day before. It heats up. Right before you serve it, you splash a little more Rumbauer in right on top. So it's the first thing that you taste. Burn off a little bit of the alcohol. If you want to try to smoke it at home, before you sear it, you can have a swanky little smoking gun like this. After you brine it, that's cold smoking. The fire's over here, but the smoke's over there. That in this dish is the unctuousness that it adds to the dish, and I think it's the bridge between the meat and the Zinfandel. As a chef, you're always looking to pair and find a pairing place that you can go with. The short rib is so delicious on its own. It makes the best sauce. Here we're gonna do a little pepperonata, but it would be a seasonal whatever. Roasted peppers and local capers. A little polenta. You guys know what polenta is? It's just Italian for grits. Except our grits are a lot better. 1,000 Friday Nights. Colonel Rumbauer on table 19 at Chiarello. A 20-something country boy. Learned to love his craft. Bring a short rib to the table. Look just like that. Braised cold smoked short rib a la Colonel Rumbauer.
Polenta. It's Italian for grits. I'll never forget that line. Thank you, Michael. That was absolutely incredible.
So much fun. Warms my heart to hear those stories about Kerner. Michael and Kerner had such an amazing friendship for so many years, and I remember when Michael and his young family used to come to the Rombauer holiday Christmas party every year. It was an event not to be missed, and Kerner would always dress as Santa and Joan as Mrs. Claus, and they just had so much fun together. And I am definitely going to agree with Michael that the Napa Valley is such a special place, but it is not quite the same without Kerner and Joan in it.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think it's time to go back to the band. Should we go back to the band
idea.
and see what's up next?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's get some energy here. Yeah.
Little girl, is your daddy home? Go and leave you all alone. Not a bad desire.
amazing place where the band was actually entertaining us all. That is part of our newly renovated area of our garden, and it is an amazing place. We refer to that as Chardonnay Lookout. It's beautiful. It overlooks the breathtaking views of the Napa Valley. We like to call that our little slice of heaven up here. We hope you can join us and enjoy a glass of wine there sometime soon.
I'm still on fire.
You got a glimpse of the Sierra Foothills tasting room and property a little while back with Megan Foley. And I think it's time we take a tour of the gardens and tasting room here at Rombauer Napa Valley. What do you say?
That's a great idea.
Let's do it.
Let's go it. Yep.
Hi, welcome to Rombauer Napa Valley. I'm Christian Diaz, the Assistant Tasting Room Manager. I'm going to show you around today. Come on in. From the moment you arrive, you're surrounded by breathtaking views of the Napa Valley and our wonderful gardens. As you approach the tasting room, you can enjoy a glass of wine on the porch with the view. And as you look out, you're going to be looking at the Mayacamas mountain range and the St. Helena Valley floor. Inside, you'll find our tasting bars, but on a nice day, we encourage our guests to enjoy the gardens. For our guests that like to enjoy a glass in the gardens or a bottle with their group, we offer wines by the glass. For our folks that like to enjoy the gardens, we have picnic tables available for their lunches or for wines by the glass. On behalf of Rombauer Vineyards, we look forward to hosting you on your next visit.
Thanks, Christian. You know, I never get tired of that view. And we'd love for all of you to visit. But if you can't make it here, you'll be happy to know that we can bring the winery to you. We've recently started offering complimentary virtual wine tastings. And our hosts will lead you through a tasting with our wines while you are in the comfort of your own home. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about that, please just give us a call or check us out on rombauer.com. Well, joining us now is Allison Surgeon, our National Sales Director. Hello, Allie. How you doing?
I'm good, Bob. Thanks.
Good, good. Welcome. What do you have in your glass?
Well, as you know, I'm a huge Rombauer Chardonnay fan.
Yep.
But on a hot summer day like today, let's be honest, a glass of Sauvignon Blanc pairs much better. I'll be honest, really, at my house, we call this wine the Porch Pounder.
A porch pounder?
The Porch Pounder.
The Porch Pounder. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Just be careful because it goes down really, really easy.
Yeah.
So, Bob, I've been at Rombauer for over 15 years now, and it never ceases to amaze me that the winemaking team continues to make improvements to the wine year after year after year. And just when I think that they've made the perfect wine, we get ready to release the next vintage, and it's better than the last. This 2019 Sauvignon Blanc is exactly that way. The winemaking team continued to make subtle improvements. This time, the subtle improvements came from sourcing. So they decided, actually, we've been making Sauvignon Blanc since 2014 vintage, and we started 100% in the Napa Valley. And in 2019, as they thought about the wine and the evolution of the wine, they decided to think about really moving a little bit more to the coast. So this vintage, 2019, is sourced, it's dual appellated, and it's sourced from Napa and Sonoma counties, which really wound up creating a better balance between fruit and acidity.
You know, I think we should add that it's become more difficult to source high-quality Sauvignon Blanc fruit here in the Napa Valley over time. And the Sonoma Valley has so much more, Sonoma County has so much more to offer in terms of beautiful Sauvignon Blanc fruit. So yeah, it was a natural next step as we're gradually growing to production to satisfy our growing consumer demand.
That's correct.
Yeah.
A little closer to the coast, it's just perfect
Yeah.
growing climate for Sauvignon Blanc. I really enjoy, I think the most about this wine is a little bit of the lime and grapefruit, the stone fruit that's in there, and it's all kind of held together with some vibrant acidity. But the best part is there's a small portion of the fruit, or of the juice that's fermented, or not fermented, sorry. Don't make that mistake again. That's aged in barrel. And it just gets a little bit more weight and texture to that back palate, kind of inviting you in for just another sip.
I think it's a distinctive characteristic of this wine, and really pleased with Richie and the winemaking team for having developed that nuanced style of production. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the best pairings for this wine in particular is number one, your favorite, guacamole, right?
Oh, well, that's true. I must confess.
I think Richie's favorite, oysters.
Oysters.
Of course. I personally love to have it with seafood, a little shrimp. That's what we did this week at my house. A variety of different cheeses, but the best cheese ever, my personal favorite, is Humboldt Fog.
Oh, Humboldt Fog.
Simply perfect.
So beautiful. Yeah.
So, speaking of food,
uh-huh.
I'd love to introduce the next segment, and that's Reagan Rombauer Blackwood, she's joined by Charlotte DeVilliers, who's our Mid-Atlantic Regional Sales Manager. And the two of them, during Shelter in Place, did a Rombauer Hour based on entertaining. So we're going to do a mini entertaining edition right now.
What a great idea.
Awesome,
What
right?
a great idea. Yeah.
Enjoy, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Welcome to the mini version of the entertaining edition.
Hey guys, how are ya?
My name's Reagan. I'm part of the third generation of the Rombauer family, coming to you from Dallas, Texas, where I live with my husband.
My name is Charlotte. I'm the regional sales manager for the Mid-Atlantic. I've been with Rombauer for about 18 months, but I've been in the food and beverage industry my entire life, and I'm thrilled to be back here with all of you guys and to co-host with Reagan to share with you another tidbit of our entertaining edition.
So let's get started with two of our quick entertaining tips. These are two questions that we get quite a bit when we're out in the market doing events, hosting people, doing dinners. So we thought we'd share our version of the answers. The fun thing about wine is there's no right answer and it's so personal. So just some rules of thumb, a starting place, and the rest is absolutely up to you. So of course, number one question, how do I select my food and wine? I don't even know where to start, and that's totally okay. For us, we are hosting Rombauer events, so we're sharing our wines with people. So we always start with the wine and build the food off of that. So kind of three different resources that we direct people to. Number one, go talk to the wine expert in your local retail store. That's what they love to do. It's their passion, and they would love to share some suggested wines with you based off the foods you've selected, or some foods based off the wines that you want to have. Our second resource is the all-knowing internet. We use it all the time ourselves. Feel free to throw in the varietal of wine that you want to and say best pairings, or I'm going to make this dish, what wine pairs best with this? The third resource is going to be on the Rombauer website, and on our recipes page, we have lots of beautiful recipes inspired by the Joy of Cooking cookbook that pair with our wines specifically. So that's a great resource as well. The second question that we get quite a bit is, how many bottles of wine should I purchase based on how many people are going to be at my event, whether it's just 2 people or your close family that's coming over, or after this is all over, maybe a larger group of people. And Charlotte has a great rule of thumb for that.
So a typical bottle is 750 milliliters, right? Which gives you just over 24 ounces. And nowadays, the standard pour is 6 ounces. So you get 4 glasses. I usually say that 1 bottle is good for 2 people. Each person gets 2 glasses. Of course, if you go up a size of party, so you have 4 people, 2 bottles, etc. I always like to have a couple of extra bottles on hand just in case you're having a really good time and decide to crack another one open.
Always better to have a little extra when you're entertaining. we can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Another option is, and can be a lot of fun when you're entertaining or just for a special occasion, is to think about what we call off sizes. And so I'll share a few of those with our Chardonnay right now. When we're talking about entertaining, you want to think about going larger formats other than standard, can be a lot of fun, big impact when you're entertaining. And really people feel intimidated by this size of bottle or even larger, but these are actually only about 8 glasses of wine. So if you like larger pours, that could be even less than that. Or if you have more than 2 people, this is actually a very reasonable sized bottle to purchase, and that's going to be a Magnum. And for that really special occasion, the larger group of people, or as a special gift, we love the double Magnum, and that is about 16 glasses of wine.
I particularly love the 3 liter because it's not a paper label, it's etched. So it has that extra oomph and it's so presentable and it's extremely giftable.
Very beautiful. So those are our 2 quick entertaining tips. And I think next we want to hear about this beautiful presentation you have in front of you, Charlotte.
Yeah, I love pairing cheeses with wine. It's just what I do. And I think when it comes to doing so, it can get a little daunting. So right now we're pairing the Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, and Merlot with a variety of cheeses. With Sauvignon Blanc, tend to lean into goat cheese. It just has a similar flavor profile. This year's the Humboldt Fog from California. With Chardonnay, I personally prefer to go into stinky cheeses, which I know is not everyone's favorite. This is Taleggio, so it's kind of on the stinky side. But if you prefer a double or a triple creme, like Beltoile or Saint Andre, it goes great with that as well. And then with our Merlot, I usually go towards the harder aged cheeses. So this is an aged Gouda from Bemster in Holland. And I always like to have a little bit of blue cheese because that is my kind of cheese. This is Saint Agur. Here with our accoutrements or accompaniments, you have mixed olives, some Marcona almonds, which are Reagan's favorite, some fig spread, some beautiful honeycomb here, and as a treat towards the end, some chocolate covered almonds.
I wanted to let you know that if you enjoyed this and want to watch the full hour version of our entertaining edition, get some more tips and tricks and have some fun with Charlotte and I, you can find that on the Rumbauer website, the Facebook, or YouTube. You can also find all the information on the cheeses Charlotte shared, as well as some additional appetizers that I prepared in the full-length version, all on our website, nice and easy for you. So thanks so much for having us, and we'll send it back to you, Bob.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody. Alan's going to talk to you in just a moment here about an upcoming version of the entertaining edition in the holiday period. With that, I'd like to turn now and introduce Alan Cannon, our Director of Distributor Relations and Education. Alan's been with the winery for more than 20 years. Hello, Alan. How you doing?
Good, Bob. How about yourself?
Excellent, thanks.
Had we been able to see the whole video from Reagan and Charlotte, there were a lot of great food and wine tips and pairings. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work. If you want to see those tips later, we are doing a holiday entertaining edition later this year. Please keep checking back with our website for further information on that. As you may have picked up, we have a tremendous appreciation for the culinary industry and for food and wine. Part of that is Kerner believed that the wines, when we released them, should be ready to rock and roll upon release, that they didn't need a lot more of aging. He also believed in pairing Rombauer wines with a delicious meal. So part of that belief in food and wine pairings and culinary interest stems from a background that Kerner's family had. Many of you may know that Kerner's great aunt Irma wrote the original Joy of Cooking cookbook. So that first copyright was 1931. And there's over 20 million copies of that. Many of you received the newest edition if you bought the 2020 wine pack that we had for this year's Joy event. So the newest edition, which was released in November, is in that. If you didn't get that, we still have some of those wine kits available, but many of you may have the previous edition, which is the 2006 edition. So again, there's like 20 million copies of that in print. If you look at, and if you pull a bottle of our cork or look at our wine and pull off the little caps of the top,
so
each of our corks say the Joy of Wine. And that's our nod to the Joy of Cooking cookbook, to Kerner and Joan, and their experiences with both food and wine pairing. So many of you received, like I said, the book in your newest dish in the previous, or your wine appreciation kit. But I have a trivia question for you. When there's no awards if you get this correct. Bob knows the answer because he's heard this before. How many recipes are in the newest edition of the Joy of Cooking Cookbook? If you want to go out and grab your copy, look at the front. There's over 4,600 recipes in the newest book. If you could do one recipe per day, it will take you 12 years and 6 months to get through the book. My best recommendation to people is to start with the cookies, cakes, desserts, then slowly work your way to the soup, salads, and you probably can forget the tofu. That's up to you, but start with the cookies and cakes. Start with those first, because you've got to live dangerously, and then work your way to the other end. Here's a special note from the Joy of Cooking family.
And I'm John Becker.
And we're the co-authors of the 2019 edition of Joy of Cooking. We'd like to wish Rombauer a happy 40th anniversary, and we hope you all have an amazing day celebrating the joy of wine. If you haven't had a chance to flip through our new cookbook, there are over 600 new recipes, 2,000 classics, and tons of great information, from tips on peeling garlic to curing your own caviar. We hope to see you all in person at next year's Joy of Wine event. Cheers!
Cheers!
For more information on wines and food pairing, especially wines that go with Rombauer wines, please go to the Joy of Cooking Cookbook website or go to our website at rombauer.com.
I want to give a short shout out and congratulations to John Becker and Megan Scott on the publication of this latest edition of The Joy of Cooking. I think it's the best edition yet, and I'm really, really proud of them and grateful for their friendship and support of everything we do here at Rombauer Vineyards. Well, we do have one last cooking demonstration to share with you today, but before we go to the grill, let's see what Rombauer has teed up for us. We're going to have one more song from him.
I'm on the bottom of the Seven Nation Army, couldn't know me back. They're gonna beat me up, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Oh, back and forth through my mind on a cigarette.
Rombauer, what energy that guy brings to the party, no doubt about it. Well, now I'm joined by renowned chef Nash Cognetti of Pizzeria Trevinia and Tre Posti here in St. Helena, California. Nash, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining us
Awesome
today.
to be here, Bob. Thank you very much. Great to see Chiarello there earlier, too. Talking about the old days of Trevigny and K.R. Rumbauer walking in. It brought back memories of me when I was 25, 26 years old. Chef at Trevigny, and got the big hand on my shoulder as I'm standing there in the kitchen saying, "Chef, what's for dinner tonight?" I had flashbacks there 15 years ago. But anyway, that's appropriate because the corn soup I'm pairing with the Chardonnay today, Bob, is interesting dish. When I first started as chef at Trevigny, from January through June, the first 6 months, I made a different soup every day. We had zuppa di giorno. So I made a different one every single day up until June, and corn came into season there in summertime. And so I made this corn soup and ran it the first day, and everyone said, "We want that forever now.
Just keep it.
Stop making new soups every day."
I remember having it there. It was legendary. Legendary.
So what's cool about the soup is there's only 5 ingredients in it. So we got butter, onions, corn, thyme, and milk. So there's no cream in the soup, but yet if you take a look at it, you can see it's super creamy. And that's just because of the natural starchiness of the corn. It's got that natural sweetness from the corn. So it's one of those things where I only make it during corn season. I only make it in the summer. There's no substitutes for it. And I think it's an awesome pairing with the Chardonnay.
Thanks for sharing it with us today. Very special.
Yeah, I love the pairing of white corn and Chardonnay, and it's got that buttery thing going on there too, and those onions. And so I think it's at the very end of the soup, the only thing that we add to it is a little squeeze of lime juice. And so if you take a look at these recipes on the Rumbauer website, you can obviously make this at home, right? 5 ingredients plus a squeeze of lime juice. It's super easy. So we add that little squeeze of lime juice at the end, and I think that acidity makes a big difference there with the Chardonnay, because it's one of those things where, you know, the Rumbauer Chardonnay has that little bit of acidity, makes you want to keep on drinking.
Yeah.
That's why it's like dangerous for some, because it makes you want to keep going because it's got that little bit of acidity. And so I think the corn soup needs that little bit of citrus acidity there at the end too to kind of match it there with the Chardonnay. So I've got some here if you want to take a look at it.
I'd love to do that.
Okay, so this is white corn soup. Like I said before, 5 ingredients, really simple. Then I pureed it in the blender and I passed it through a fine sieve. And so that's my white corn soup right there. Really simple. This is awesome for summertime too. So I'm serving it warm today. But if you want to, you know, it's a great soup to serve cold as well. So I like it too, like a cold soup shooter, kind of in a little demi-tasse or in a shot glass. Great for parties. You could do it as like even past appetizer. Kind of poolside, little chilled corn soup. Since we're pairing it with Rumbauer Chardonnay, Rumbauer wines are deluxe. I've done a little deluxe pairing here with it too. And so I took some Hen of the Woods mushrooms and I browned them in a little bit of brown butter.
Yes.
And I got them a little crispy on the outside.
Nice.
So I got these little brown butter Hen of the Woods mushrooms. Once again, you can get the recipe for this as well on the Rumbauer website. Then I take a little bit of that brown butter and I drizzle it there through the soup as well. Get a little bit of that brown butter and those crispy mushrooms going on inside there. And then I just hit it with a little bit of green onions or chives at the end there. Give it a little hit. And that's my white corn soup. Very simple, but yet very elegant. And I think it's really great for entertaining.
Beautiful.
So,
beautiful.
Beautiful white corn soup right there.
Yes. For all those of you who are passionate cooks out there, and I know there are scores of you watching this afternoon, don't forget the little squeeze of lime. That was the secret here.
Yeah, you're right. The little squeeze of lime because the soup's really rich.
Yep.
So, you know, we've got that kind of acidity to cut through that right there. So
beautiful. Yeah.
I'm going to switch over to the next dish right now. So those of you that know me or have eaten at my restaurants before, my last name ends in a vowel. So there's no way I'm showing up here and not making something really Italian. Obviously, we started with corn soup, very California, but I've got to go into Italy right now. I'm pairing the Rumbauer Merlot with a classic Bolognese right now, rigatoni alla Bolognese.
Gorgeous.
And so rigatoni alla Bolognese, you know, I think that you know, a lot of times Cabernet needs like that fat to kind of balance out the tannin, like a grilled steak or something like that.
Yes.
But I love Merlot with like a tomato sauce.
Yes.
But the thing is about the Rumbauer Merlot is it's not a wimpy Merlot. So it's a complex Merlot. There's a lot going on there to it. There's a lot of depth. So I want to pair that with the dish. It's also got a lot of complexity and a lot of depth, right? So it's probably great to just eat at your local pizzeria on a Friday night and drink a little Rumbauer Merlot and grab a pie. But for this, we want something that's a little bit more complex. So I've got this sugo alla bolognese. So it's got Italian sausage, it's got pork, it's got beef, it's got long cooked vegetables, celery, onions, carrots, garlic, it's got chicken stock, the whole thing. So obviously I couldn't come out here and be on camera for 2.5 hours while this simmered away.
Right,
We'd run out of
right.
stuff to talk about.
Yes.
But we will do a little bit of rigatoni alla bolognese here right now. So you can see that the pasta that I just dropped in that water, I did a little par blanche on it there. And so if you're doing this recipe at home, you know, obviously what I always recommend to people is whatever it says on the package, minus 2 minutes and start tasting it.
Okay, right.
So if it says 12 minutes, minus 2. After 10 minutes, you want to start tasting it. You want to taste the pasta. It should be when they call it al dente. To me, that means you should feel it between your teeth, but it shouldn't stick in your teeth.
Right. To get that texture just right.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I always like to pull it out. If it says 12 minutes, I start tasting it after 10, and I usually pull it out after about 11, right? So I actually parboiled this pasta, so it's ready to go right now.
I feel badly that all of you who are watching this afternoon can't experience the fragrance that's coming out of this pan. It is unbelievable. I can't wait to try it.
So that's a little par blanche on that pasta right there. That's how we do it restaurant style, where we do it in heavily salted boiling water, and we'll actually cook that pasta about halfway and toss it in olive oil, which is kind of cool too if you're doing this at home. You know, it's always tough to time meals when you're entertaining at home. So take a tip from the restaurant chef here. What we do is you never want to put your pasta into ice water, into cold water after you cook it, right? But what we do is we do a parboil on it, halfway cooked, put it in a bowl with a little bit of olive oil, toss it through, lay it out on a baking tray, and let it cool down.
Okay.
And so then when your guests arrive and you're ready to go and you're ready to eat, bing, boom, like you just watched, right?
Yes.
So this is a little rigatoni alla bolognese.
That's a new trick. I haven't heard that before. Amy, are you paying attention?
That's a new trick right there. So what I like to do too is I like to make sure that that pasta continues to cook here in the pan with the sauce for just a couple minutes to, like, you know, pasta kind of likes to absorb the flavor of that bolognese sauce.
Yes.
I add a little bit of splash of pasta water. I know you're wearing nice pants, so I'm not going to get any on you, I promise.
I'm not worried about it.
I'm a trained professional over here. Don't worry about it. And then I'm going to take that one right to the plate as well. So this is my rigatoni alla bolognese. Like I said, pork, Italian sausage, ground beef, tomatoes. You can always put some fresh tomatoes in there if it's July and you're in Napa Valley like right now. Onions, carrots, celery, garlic, the whole business. A really complex kind of sauce there for a complex kind of wine. The only thing I would do there to finish it, I keep stuff really simple, is a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano. And if you want to fancy it up, you can do a little bit of just whole leaves of parsley sprinkled on there as well. And rigatoni alla bolognese right there. Looks like a nice Friday night with a glass of Rumbauer.
It's a work of art. Chef, thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Chef Nash Cognetti from Pizzeria Treviña and Tre Posti here in St. Helena, California. Thanks again, Chef.
Thank
I
you.
can't wait. So we're going to shift gears and go back to a song by David Ronconi while I get to try a little bit of this beautiful dish with the chef. Cheers.
I want to send a shout out to my Aunt Jeannie and my mom Nancy Ronconi, probably two of the biggest Rombauer fans I know. If we're at any kind of event, there's always a few bottles of Rombauer hanging around. This next song I'm going to play is called Skies Turn Blue. Hope you guys like this one.
I've been saving all my love for you, the kind of love that makes the skies turn blue. I've been dreaming day and night about me and you. Find your love, I'm gonna find you love. coming down from the heavens above. When the stars in your eyes align with mine, and I'll be singing to you. I've been saving all my love for you, the kind of love that makes the skies turn blue. I've been dreaming day and night about me and you. I could wait forever, I know, to find your heart and complete my mind and my soul. All the stars up above will shine our love, and I'll be singing to you. I've been saving all my love for you, the kind of love that makes the skies turn blue. I've been dreaming day and night about me and you. So what's it gonna take to get you into my life, baby? I guess only time will tell, 'cause I would search the whole world to find you, but I'm missing you right now. 'Cause I've been saving all my love for you, the kind of love that makes the skies turn blue. I've been dreaming day and night about me and you, about me and you, about me and you.
Oh, thank you, David. We love your music. And thanks. This has been so much fun for all of us. We thank you for sharing our memories with us today and while tasting our beautiful wines. You know, we couldn't have done it without your support after all these years. Cheryl?
We were lucky enough that some of our favorite customers indulged us and sent in a heartfelt message from them to us about their experience with Rombauer and our brand, and we'd love to share that video with you now.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Greg and Mary Croft from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. We are Zinfandel Wine Club members, and we absolutely love all of the Zins. They are our favorite wines. We wish Rombauer a happy 40th anniversary. Cheers.
All the best.
Stay healthy.
Hi, I'm Ryan Johnson from San Francisco. I'm a huge fan of Rombauer wines. The Chardonnay is absolutely amazing, but personally, I love the Sauvignon Blanc. It pairs perfectly with every summer activity. Happy 40th anniversary, Rombauer. Cheers.
Happy 40th anniversary, Rombauer, my favorite ever.
Hi, I'm Stacy Lill.
And I'm Greg Lill, and we're the owners of DeLille Cellars Winery up here in Woodinville, Washington.
Cheers to you for 40 years.
Yeah, Kerner, we miss you, and but we love Rombauer, and here's to another 40 years of great wines.
Happy anniversary, Rombauer, to many more.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy Thayer from the rock band Kiss, and I'm sitting here enjoying my very favorite Sauvignon Blanc by Rombauer, of course. Hope everybody's doing great, and I want to congratulate Rombauer on your 40th anniversary. Good luck to everybody.
When I first started working for Kerner Rombauer for the family 11 years ago, Kerner had us up to his house for happy hour with his wife Sandy, and we were having happy hour appetizers. Kerner asked me to open a bottle of wine, so I opened a bottle of wine, of course, and it was a large bottle of wine. And we decided to pass it around, and I opened the bottle of wine, poured everybody a glass of wine, and I poured it for Kerner. And Kerner looked at me and he said, "What are you paying for it?" And I said, "What do you mean, Kerner?" He goes, "What are you paying for it? Pour it full." That's how I learned about the Kerner pour.
I'm going to cheers you all with a Kerner pour. That's a mug of Chardonnay. And here's to the 40th anniversary, here's to the Rombauer family, and here's to the 2019.
Congratulations, you guys, on your 40th anniversary. We are Joyce and John from Concord, California, and we really enjoy all of your wines.
Happy 40th and to another 40 and more.
Best wishes, Rombauer, on your anniversary.
My entire family is in love with Rombauer, and that includes all the wines. I wish you a very happy birthday. Keep it up.
Hi guys, my name is Luisana. I'm from Turkey, California, and I'm drinking Rombauer Zinfandel. That is my vino favorito in this world. So cheers, happy 40th anniversary.
It's been a long and wonderful friendship with Kerner, with Joan, with Rombauer Vineyards. And I wish you guys a happy 40th anniversary. Congratulations for all the beautiful wines that you've made and all the wonderful people and friends that you've made.
Hi there, Greg Graham with Gregory Graham Wines in Lower Lake, California, former winemaker for Kerner Rombauer from 1988 to 2009, during which time we developed the style and consistency for the Rombauer Carnero Chardonnay. This next weekend is the Joy of Wine, but it's going to be the 40th anniversary of the Rombauer success. And I'd like to take this time to wish the family and staff congratulations and many, many more vintages going into the future. Cheers!
Hello, hi, we're Doug and Kathy Ford from Corona del Mar, California. We've been great fans of Rombauer for over 20 years and been wine club members for the last 10 years. We love going and visiting the winery in Napa Valley. We love the views. We love just sitting there and relaxing and enjoying a nice glass of Chardonnay. My wife loves Fiddletown, and we both love the Chardonnay. Wishing you 40 more years of great success and prosperity.
Hi, this is Dan Detmer. Sally and I would like to wish Rombauer a happy 40th anniversary. This weekend, when you are doing Joy of Wine, Kerner won't be there in person, but he will be there in spirit. Cheers to everyone. Cheers. Happy 40th anniversary.
Hi, I'm Dennis Hines from Omaha. One of the memories that I have is a nice bottle signed by Kerner. Brings back the thoughts and memories of the enjoyment we had visiting the winery. Whether it's halibut from Alaska or ribeyes from Nebraska, I always find a nice Rombauer wine to pair to make the meal exceptional. Thank you for your time. Have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Bill and Marilyn Henderson from Santa Rosa, 26 miles away from Rombauer. We've known the family and the winery for 30-some years. I don't know which came first, the family or the wine, but it's been a pure joy.
Greetings. My name is Keith Vickers. I want to congratulate Rombauer on their first 40 years of sharing the joy of wine. Cheers.
Congratulations to the Rombauer family and everybody at Rombauer, in fact, for the 40 years. It's a fantastic wine, and I want to thank the Rombauer family and the memory of Kerner for the friendship over all these many years, and as well as thank you for making a fantastic wine. Congratulations.
My name's Christine. I am out here in the beautiful Napa Valley enjoying a glass of one of my favorite wines, the Rombauer Carnero Chardonnay. I only wish I could be there celebrating with you guys in person at the winery, but I can't wait for many more years of great wine and visits, and we will meet again soon. Cheers to another 40 years.
Well, just like Shauna said in the very beginning, that the Rombauer family is so much more than the immediate family. We want to thank all of you. You are so much part of our family. Our employees, our friends, our customers are all part of the Rombauer family. We could not do this without you. We thank you for including us in all of the joyful moments that you've created and shared with your family and friends.
Thank you for spending your Saturday with us, and we have one more message before we part.
Rombauer is more than a brand, it's a passion of a like-minded group of individuals who just want to make the best wine possible.
Rombauer is awesome. Is that a good one?
Rombauer is authentic wine by authentic people.
Rombauer is family and friends. Here, I got some of my best mates and they're like family.
Rombauer is a great big family and a piece of heaven on earth.
Rombauer is, well, if I had to put a word to it, I would say excellence.
Rombauer is hospitality.
Rombauer is culture.
Rombauer is the people.
Rombauer is community.
Rombauer is home.
Rombauer is family.
Rombauer is my home away from home.
Rombauer para mí es familia.
Rombauer is quality. Rombauer is the best job I've ever had.
Rombauer is a beautiful, wonderful, big, happy family.
Rombauer is having a glass of wine with my pups.
Rombauer is a place to relax and escape with a glass of wine.
Rombauer is the place that offered me the greatest opportunity to learn how to make wine.
Rombauer is fun. We have fun as a team, we have fun with our customers.
Rombauer é lugar maravilhoso para passar o dia com a tua família e com os teus amigos, desfrutando de vinho e fazendo momentos de alegria.
Rombauer е приказна винарна, скътана в красивата Napa Valley area.
Rombauer es un buen lugar para estar.
Rombauer es familia.
Rombauer is family.
Rombauer is quality time with family and friends.
Rombauer is a great place to learn how to make excellent wines.
Rombauer is a great place to work.
Rombauer is community.
Rombauer is family and compassion.
Rombauer is family.
Rombauer to me is a celebration of joy.
Rombauer is knowing that wherever you take a bottle, you'll always be home.
Rombauer is to me having friends and family get together and enjoy these beautiful wines.
Rombauer is family.
Rombauer is all about authenticity and heart.
Rombauer is the best place to work.
Rombauer is all about enjoying amazing wine and delicious food with your family and friends.
Rombauer is where joyful moments and memories are made.
Rombauer is the result of a family's commitment to pursue their dreams and the place that I've been lucky enough to call home for 27 years.
My name is Tona, and I worked with Kerner Rombauer for 25 years. He was not only my mentor, he was my boss, my dear friend, and a great American. Kerner Rombauer was red, white, and blue through and through.
Rombauer is joy.
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 Rombauer is the joy of wine.
Thank you for always celebrating the joy of wine with us. Cheers. Cheers.